bring it on with some email questions.
Okay.
This first one, Pat, is from Willard, who says, is it wrong to participate in sweepstakes on a daily basis? The Bible teaches we should not tempt the Lord our God, and we should always put God first in all things. The offers I get from these companies want me to purchase merchandise and at the same time place a wager.
Is it wrong? It's stupid. Your chance of getting hit by a meteor are greater than winning the sweepstakes. I mean, they're not as great as women in
cancel my subscription.
You're not going to win those things. It's a come on. I mean, don't be a sucker. Get your money and put it in something that will make money for you, surely, and grow it little by little by little. All right.
Okay, this is April, who says, two Christian friends of mine divorced about 2 years ago, stating the reason being, quote, adultery of the heart. No physical adultery happened, but they claimed that if they stayed married, then it would have happened. One of them is now about to remarry, but it makes me uncomfortable. Is adultery of the heart a valid means for divorce, or did they shortchange their marriage and use this excuse as a cop-out for what seems like a loss of interest in each other?
I think you have described it perfectly. It's a loss of interest, adultery of the heart. That's nonsense.
Well, her question is because now the one's getting married and they're inviting her to the wedding, and she says, should I go?
Well, if you don't feel good about it, don't participate. Don't show up at the wedding. You don't have to make a big deal of it. But they are breaking God's law in doing what they're doing. But it's not, I'm having adultery of the heart. Well, look, I don't know what's in somebody's heart, and I don't think you do either. So it's really hard to judge what's going on in somebody's mind. And to
or their marriage
impugn motives, you don't know what their motives are. So leave that to God. All right.
Okay, this is a viewer who says, will sin reduce God's blessings and the wonderful life that he's planned for you? Will God's mysteries and revelation be taken from you? I want to serve God totally, but sexual sin is a stumbling block for me. Do you have any encouraging words or advice?
I don't know if you're male or female. The Bible says it's better to marry than to burn with desire. So I don't know. You're probably not married, and you've got all these hormones raging, and the Bible says it's better to marry than to burn with desire. That's what the Apostle Paul said. Will these things hinder you? Well, sin will hinder you. Sin will cause a barrier between you and the Lord. And as you seek to talk to the Lord, that sin will always come before you. You'll feel guilty. You'll have a guilty conscience. And you won't have the freedom to come to the Lord. So get it right, whatever it is, and then ask his forgiveness, and he will forgive you. But he understands. He made you a sexual being. He gave you those desires, just like your desire to eat food. It's a natural human desire, but you have to get them under control, just like you don't want to gorge yourself with food. You don't want to gorge yourself with illicit sex. It isn't that it's not a thing given you by God. But the Lord understands. He loves you. So talk to him. Tell him what's on your heart. Tell him what's going on, and ask him to work with you on it, and he'll do it. Okay,
here's one from Alan, who says, do we get a new name in heaven that no one else has? He has our name written in his hand, but so many people have the same name.
Well, the Bible says that he's going to give us a new name which nobody else has. What it said, there'll be a stone, and on the stone there'll be a name, and that name will be your special relationship to the Lord. And I think God is, if he's able to put the stars in place and to take care of all the cells in your body, I'm sure he's able to get enough names to take care of you too. But that's what it says. There'll be a stone, and on the stone will be written a name. The name in the Old Testament particularly described people. They weren't like, Mike or Charlie, like, didn't have any meaning. But in those days, those names meant something.